Alright folks, welcome to this exciting video where you once again join us in the wild landscape of Scotland. For today's adventure we're joined by the channel DJ out here, and for today's adventure we've come to Glen Prosen in the Piercy area, and we're coming to hopefully document a piece of history that we've never seen before on the channel. And it's down this little track here at the roadside. So look at this folks, we've made it around the side of that little kind of building which just stands at the roadside, and look, there's this old abandoned structure in its garden. And at the other side of this glen you can actually see the early monument standing up on the hilltop. And I think the ancient thing we're looking for is somewhere down there, isn't it? In front of us. Do you think it's that way?
Yeah, it's just here some...
Oh aye, it's like an old abandoned farm croft by the looks of things folks. And you know what it's like on this channel? We love exploring and documenting history from all times and all eras in Scottish history. And today it's an old farm croft, probably dating back well before the 1500s and stuff like that. Some of these old farm crofts date back as far as like the 1100s and ancient times like that, when agriculture was first brought into these lands. And yeah, there's some heat in that sun. That's how I've got on the summer bucket hat for this one. But we have also put on the wellies, and that's just obviously not for fashion on this adventure folks, that's for the safety of not getting ticks all over us. But also the farm we're away to visit is actually at the opposite side of a river, so let's see how we get on with that. So check this out folks, we've come down to the bottom of the hill. We were just literally up there in the last clip, and we've come around this road, and now we can see the ancient abandoned history. The only trouble is it's at the opposite side of this river, so we're just making our way through this overgrown terrain. And then yeah, it's mad, often the landscapes we find ourselves in the middle of, it's just crazy, but it's great fun. Often part of the adventure when you're finding the history and documenting it, so you're trying to get to it, that's the craziest thing. And look at it, there's a wee crofter's cottage here at the opposite side of the river. Let's keep heading in. Wow, yeah, it's super slippy underneath the water. Certain stones are slippy. We're quite lucky today because the river's actually at a low height. Check it out folks, look below our feet. Whoa! I may actually fall over, but that's always a risk. I'm just taking my time here folks, this is the most ferocious part of the river I'm in right now. Yes, I've made it. Wow, this is the deepest part of the river at this side. What an extreme environment we are in. That'll be super slippy there DJ, I believe. We're doing it. Yeah, it looks really deep. It looks like it may breach the wellies. This is what we do on these adventures folks, we're often just reading the land or reading the river in this circumstance. Obviously we're not wanting to get wet. Check this out folks, I'm on this stone right now. There we go folks, I'm following the channel DJ's lead here. I would rather have wet feet than get completely wet, but if I do fall over folks, the camera's rolling, you know how it is. It's so deep, isn't it?
I know, that's what I mean, that it's so near to stand there and then hop over to this one.
It's like being a robot or something. Oh my goodness.
You're right.
I'll be alright. I'm just staying focused.
Nice and cool.
Yeah, I'm cool.
See that big stone there?
Yeah.
Stand on
Is it safe though?
Yeah. Both my feet were on it.
And where did you go after that?
I stepped onto this one and then over here into the shallow bit.
See what I'm thinking? There's a stone there I'm going for maybe.
Yeah. You sure it's not too deep?
No, I'm alright. See the trouble, these other stones are so slippy. Again, I'm needing to shift my body weight to get my other foot onto this stone. Right, I'm on it. Whoa! Some bits of this river, like I just put my foot in a super deep bit. Where did you go for here? Over? Did you stand on there?
And then
I think I can see a stone here. Here we go, folks.
you want me to get the camera in?
Whoa!
You alright?
I need to go to there.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
You're on it.
I've got it, my man. We're always just picking routes like that, folks. That was a long river crossing, but we're in it. We'll keep the camera rolling. So if there's any mishaps, it's just natural on the video. Wow. I probably wouldn't advise anybody coming this route. See, if this was a solo adventure, I probably wouldn't have attempted to come all the way over. Wow, this is just crazy. Look at this. We've made it to this side of the burn, folks. Or the river, I should call it. Check it out, folks. Look at this. Wow. I'm always so excited when we find new history that we've never documented before. In a wee house like this, sitting out on the hill. Yeah, it's had other outbuildings and stuff like that. For today's adventure, I do have the windsock on the camera, folks, and it's a good job because there's quite a breeze coming down the valley, but it's super mild and warm, and I'm actually glad. I'm feeling quite cool after walking through the river. The water's cold on my legs. Wow, check this out, folks. Once again on the channel, we're bringing you history never seen before. I've never documented this on the channel, so this is just, wow, this is insane. Look at that. An ancient house. Let's see what details of the history we can explore and uncover, and then we might be able to find out the history of this place, or look at the historical details through here. Check it out. There's a wee fireplace there. Look, the metal at the backings hanging off. Check this out, folks. This is what it's all about. Look at the historical details with that. The old handle on the front. At one time all this would have been connected up. And an interesting detail, look, the old mantelpiece still sits there. You can see how it's been pegged into the wall at a certain time there, with some dowels. And nowadays, look, that tree and stuff just grows out of the wall. Look, there's a detail, there's a square in the wall there, and there's been another wooden shelf or whatever mounted on. A lot of places like this would have had lath and plaster, which is the wooden laths with the plaster smeared over.
There's a lot of it here,
It looks like this house could have been on the go. That was in the 1800s they did that. But there could have been a cottage here even before that. And then it was upgraded and maintained as the years went on.
A lot newer than that.
Yeah. I believe these internal walls show that it's like 1900s all this would have been put in. These are far more recent internal walls. Anyway, let's see what other details remain here. Imagine the farmer looking out here over his field, maybe a flock of sheep running about out there. And you can see the old perimeter wall. There was a wasp totally trying to go up my sleeve there, folks. I had to bail out of that last clip. Yeah, you can see the old wall which at one time would have surrounded the farmhouse garden here, and then beyond that would have been the farmland. Often the people that built these crofts and these settlements were the first people to start agriculture in this lands. They drained wild bogland and cleared shrubs and bushes. Here there's a wasp. We need to watch it though, because wasps, there could be nests. Right, let's have a look. Lath and plaster, this is what I was saying, look at this. The wooden lath. And then look at the old door frame, folks. Just think when that was put in. Early 1900s potentially, with this internal section. See the crazy thing, folks, I have actually on previous adventure, I've stood on a wasp bike in the ground and got absolutely stung to bits. And that's how, if there's wasps and stuff flying around me, I get a proper fright. Here, I can see a cool detail over by the faraway wall. Look, the old bed head.
Yeah.
Wow, we'll head along here and have a look, folks. This is crazy. What a scene of history we're in the middle of once again this week on the videos. And today it's a farm croft, folks. Look at this here. This must have been,
The garden.
well, like the main farm yard at this side.
Here, yeah.
Oh, aye, this would have been the garden at this bit of the way. Look, the old, it's like a bed frame or some kind of frame. Maybe an old bit of machinery. The type of creatures you get around here is unreal. I'm always just looking into the grass as I walk around. So look at the character of this little farmhouse croft here. Well, the farmhouse of the croft. And then at this side, just imagine the noise of the animals and stuff back in the day. As the farm was in its prime. Imagine the horse and cart trundling round here into the main farmyard. Let's go and see if there's any details within these buildings. There may be evidence of a mill of some sort here. Some farms had a water wheel to power a mill, and then other farms had a bit where an animal could turn it. Wow, look at this, yeah, it's proper bogland here. These animals. That bird is making such a funny noise at the other side. I don't know if that came out on the camera. Wow, look at this in here. It's now just obviously a haven for wildlife. Whatever other creatures come round this way. Often this is still land used by the farmers for the grazing of the sheep and stuff like that. Nah, is it just the plain overgrown wilderness? I'll take a peek around, folks. We'll show the world what's around this corner. Wow, yeah, that's the back of the farm basically. But look at the old construction. Often these places were made with the stone sourced locally here on these hills. And that's how often, probably at a later time, the newer windows and that was fitted to the wee croft cottage. And that'll be the reason that you can see the different coloured stone around the croft windows, the cottage windows. I would say in the 1900s that would have had its final restoration. It would have been brought up to the modern standards of the time. And then one day it was just abandoned and forgotten. It looks like there's been no electricity down here. And maybe the river was one of their few sources of water. Yeah, I don't know where the old main road would have been down to it.
There's across the river from that one.
Wow, yeah.
There's a bridge of some sort.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about that. Like, how did they get here? What was their main road? Surely they wouldn't have forded across the river.
You wouldn't have thought so. That's quite a steep bank.
Yeah, not unless there was a road up the lower part. But then I think that's the waterway.
Yeah.
And look, this has been... Is there something in there? What have we got here, folks? Oh, aye, look at that. It's an old bit of a driller, I think, for making like tatty drills. I had the hiccups there, folks. Look at that. Yeah, I think once they plough it and plant their tatty or whatever, that would come along and then shape the ground once it's covered up. Or it was definitely for part of a machine like that. I'm not sure if that would have been pulled behind the horse, or if that would have been maybe newer. Oh, is that a sign it's been some sort of mill shed or whatever? Look at that. Or maybe the farmer maybe used to put his lantern up in there.
There's some metal on it.
Check it out, folks, a little hole there potentially for a lantern. Oh aye. Bits of metal, like almost as if it's been a tool. Or a bit of something anyway.
Yeah.
It's the craziest of scenes. And look at this bit of wood hanging on in here, blowing with the wind. An ancient door frame. Wow. It's interesting to imagine when these farms were first put in and how grand the structures must have been. Look on that wall there, look at all the holes.
Ah, I noticed that.
That's the kind of details. Yeah, not unless, would that be...
I think.
Nah, surely no way. Nah, I thought for a minute it could have been a water wheel pit, but it's no, it doesn't have that look. But look at these massive chunks of stone used on this wall. It's almost like this is a different construction to the other shed next to it. Wow. Check this out here, folks. This is mad. The old bed head. Look at the detail of this. You just didn't see beds built to this detail anymore. Look at this. The cast iron.
Pretty cool,
It's incredible. I'm sure it's a bed head, like. It looks like that for like a single bed. So grand though and ornate. The way it's like carved and shaped. The sun's at a poor angle for seeing it because my shadow's like right over it. And look at this wild bit of land here. What a crazy little building this is.
That's been a doorway to the back.
Oh, aye. That could have been the door out to that field.
Yeah.
When he's rounding up his sheep and stuff, you can imagine them coming running into here. So check that out, folks. For the angle of the history, it's amazing to see it. And then just imagine this, like I've said already, when it's in its prime, when it was first built, the pride of the owner of the farm. And look at this here. What is this ancient device here on the land? Look at it there. It's all made of cast iron. Wow. Look at that. There's like proper linkages and stuff down there. Things were made proper back then, like. See, it is almost like a chair or a summer seat, 'cause that's spring steel. So it would have been cushioned. And then this here looks like an ancient chair. But look how like over-engineered it actually is. Whoa, there's some mad beetles on my feet right here. Crazy looking creatures that would probably bite you, folks. There's a lot of mad beasts. See, that's the sort of bricks that the house is made of on the wall. I'm wanting to maybe have a wee look around the other side of the house. Oh look, the sun scored on the tree.
I'm trying to find a date on some of them.
Wow, look at that, folks.
Can't see.
I can hardly even read what it says. But it must have been folk maybe at this house, or maybe folk came down here for a picnic kind of at a certain time when this tree was a lot smaller. Look, there's another name here. And tons of that fungus, the bracket fungus. Or the bridie fungus as we call it on this channel, folks. Oh look, there's a piece of metal sticking out of that tree. What? That piece of metal's growing inside that tree. And that'll be maybe an old bit of farm debris that was sitting here. And then the tree has grown up through it. Wow, folks. Yeah, I don't think we're going to look around the far end of the house. Because we came out that window and I never looked in that end room. And I'm actually wanting to see basically what's in there. Because you know what it's like on this channel, folks. We love to uncover every detail of the history. And imagine maybe the family or whatever at one time that stayed in there. This would have been their day-to-day life. Every day would have been based around this area and this site in the land. And then one day their lives were no more in this glen. And a place like this is just left to the elements and to the weather. Yeah, look at it there. It's pretty overgrown. Sometimes also the internal fixtures and fittings were taken out of buildings like this. And they were used for other newer builds in the areas. Look, it's had like a cement render on it at this side. And the old chimney stack still stands on the top of it. Wow, what an interesting sight this is, folks. And I'm always amazed exploring places that I've never seen before, never been to before. And then to have to cross that mad river, what an adventure it's been. Just look at it from this angle here. Mad scenes of abandoned Scotland on the channel. There is a kind of a wee track here that I'm following, just check it out. Maybe a sheep track or a deer track over the hill here. Yeah, look at the angle behind me. Crazy, folks. So once again folks, with this week's video, it's another interesting little nugget here, hidden and hardly seen. And now we're away to brave this river crossing once again. I'll go and have a look at these trees and see if there's any other dates on them, which might give us a clue to the history of this area. That's a cool angle of the history there folks. You can actually see the old buildings and then the wee cottage in the foreground. It's almost like a postcard scene of Scotland once again this week. I had a wee look on these trees and there's no sign of any old dates or anything written. But it is interesting just to see what we have seen today and tell the wee story of this history, like hidden away down here. Another farm croft dating back to ancient times, upgraded and maintained into more recent times, and then one day just fully abandoned. Anyway, it's getting more windy now folks, so we're about to go and do this mad river crossing.
Is it?
Check this out folks. Oh, it is. It's an old iron teapot. Like, what is the chances of that folks? We're about to cross the river and look at that. Imagine that must have been what they had inside that house. Imagine how heavy that was.
That may be what that.
Yeah, we saw the rest of this lying up there and we thought it was just a big pot off like a stove. See the cool thing? Like, I'll put it back where it was, but you can see the side of the riverbank's built up there with the stone. And that gives you an idea of what they did at one time to maintain this area. Wow, what a scene. I wonder if the farm used to flood when it was like the river was in spate. Wow, this is insane folks, we're going for it. The river crossing is on. I was just thinking about speed running this folks and trying to go quick, but that's often not the best answer. We came slow on the way over and it kind of worked. I did get wet though, but the last time it was from me kicking the water onto myself when I took a step. Wow, it's so deep here. Is this a different area to where we crossed?
That's the stone I stepped on.
Oh, aye.
Oh, it's going in my well.
You're on the same stone you were on before. This is crazy folks, I'm using 3 points of contact here. That's an old climbing technique that I use. See what, I get the total wobbles when I'm on the river. But it just does take practice, that's basically how these things go. I'm taking so long to get that next foot placement. See, I think we went all the way up to there, did we know? See, that's it folks. See that deep bit back there? It really caught me out. What are you saying? Yeah, I'm just totally like an old person when I'm walking in this. I'm all wobbly. But I think it's crazy for your balance doing this, because I'm like 1 minute shaking and then I just straighten my head up and here I am back in the game. And a lot of it is down to like focus, but also staying chilled. You just need to stay chilled in these situations. Often I think it's good for your health putting yourself in an environment like that. Obviously there's always a chance you could end up falling in, but that is the adventure. That's part of the adrenaline rush. I'm just analysing what's like shallow and what's deep.
Yeah, it gets deep here and I stepped over onto this using this.
And was it still shallow here?
Yeah.
See what doesn't work in a river? Taking a half step. Like you need to commit. Did you use the tree? Well, we'll get the camera round to this angle folks. Here we go.
And then try and step over onto this.
Whoa, it slipped.
Come on, come on.
The tree broke and it slipped at the same moment.
That's
Here,
it.
it's chill. We've done it folks. The realest of adventures once again on the channel. 3 minutes 10 seconds it took us to cross that river, and that's how well I left the camera rolling the whole time. The viewer is along on the adventure with us. It took us a minute longer to cross the first time. Yeah, this is where we came down, look at it. It's the shortest route to the road. Yes, here we are, we're on the road. That is what these adventures are all about. Whoa, a fly nearly went in my ear. Look, somebody's been here shooting. That's what you get on these Scottish estates. This will be a popular area for the gamekeepers. We've done it. Look at this, folks, there's a whoa, a beastie just literally landed on my arm. Look at it on the water, it's orange. Whoa, it's on top of the water. It probably doesn't even come out on the video. It's like some beetle type of beast. Yeah, the amount of crazy wildlife, folks. I was waiting to record the wee stream crossing. Look, there's been a bridge. It's washed away. There's like the sound of a waterfall up through this little valley, but it's too overgrown at this time of year to have a look. Wow, this is a pure paradise landscape we're in once again, folks, on this adventure. And it's cool I can share places like this with people all over the world. Just check it out here. It's like a summertime meadow out in front of us. Nothing but wildlife and crazy nature. Check it out here, we've made it back to the main road that we started this adventure on, and it has been an absolute madness coming up that steep hill right there, folks. We are absolutely gassed out. It's like 20 degrees Celsius today and it's just so humid. There is that breeze, but we're just overheating nonetheless because of the landscape we're exploring. Anyway, it was interesting to see that abandoned croft dating back to ancient times and almost lost forever on this land. Maybe one day it'll just be no more than the pile of stones up here on the hill. That's how it's cool to keep documenting things like that on the videos. Anyway, folks, I'm ending this one here. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye for me, goodbye for the channel DJ, and I'll catch you very soon with the next one, wherever we end up going.